these super nice like dress shoes. If you
Functional, yeah.
for functional shoes, you don't have to go over. I would say 75 to 100 is like and you can find some of those on sale, maybe a little less, but like
Yeah. Well, you know my brand that I like. Hello. What's going on, Northridge? How
hello,
you doing,
folks?
folks?
Hello,
Such
folks.
an old term, folks. Do you ever call your parents folks, Greg?
I don't think so. Maybe I've said
so.
I'm going to my folks. No, I've never said I'm going
Never said
to
that
go
before?
see my
Is that
folks.
a Midwestern thing?
I don't know.
Anyway,
no, I don't know if it's Midwestern.
We are
It's just-
happy to be here, Greg. I'm glad to have you back.
Yay.
You were feeling much better than last week.
Yep.
I wonder if any of this smoky haze is going to make you feel
It's
crappy.
smoky.
This is crazy, isn't it?
I was standing outside just now talking
Just
to a couple
taking it
people.
in.
Yeah. And it was like a couple minutes and you're just coughing and it's gross. That is for sure.
Well, glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And
Good to be back.
we got some fun things to talk about today. We're going to talk about. I tried this new thing out last week with Brax.
Yeah.
It's not like a top 10 like David Letterman or anything like that, but it is 10 things.
Okay.
And so we'll go through that list. We'll do some announcements that are. I think you want to know about it here at Northridge. If you're part of the Northridge family, which is again, this is why I wanted to start this, is to create another platform and talk about Northridge things. And then we're going to talk about heritage and DNA and all these other kinds of things.
Fun.
So, right off the bat, I have this list of 10 things, Greg, and everything that I picked out on this list has to do with the number that we're on. So I'm going to go backwards, starting at 10, and go all the way down to 1.
Okay.
Did you watch last week's with Brax?
This part was where I kind of lost network.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say lost
interest? No.
Well, and I think it'd be fun to do this with guests, that we can kind of create a list specifically for who we have as a guest.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also maybe if you want, you can come up with one for me. And I'm going to do the same thing that I started with Brax last week, number 10, because we talked about survival stuff on the show before.
Is Brax more confident in his survival ability than
He
I?
might be, but
Yeah.
I'm not confident in his survival abilities.
Yeah.
So, just to remind you, I think we talked about survival stuff based on a joke. It kind of was inspired by a joke that Greg shared during during his sermon a few weeks back. That Frank, is it Weiland?
Yeah.
Weiland.
Weiland.
He gave Greg to share. Mm-hmm. And it had to do with being stranded on an island. So anyway, we started talking about all these shows like Survivor, Bear Grylls, and Survivor Man, and one of my favorite shows, Alone. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I printed off a packing list on Alone, because it starts with 10 contestants, and they're allowed to bring 10 survival items along with this packing list that everybody can bring. So the big font is what everybody brings, so you don't have to worry about that. But on this other side, you can only bring 10 of these things. Number 10 on our list is which 10 items would you bring to try to survive as long as you can to win $500,000. So while he's doing that,
is Les Stroud on this list?
Bear Grylls
crew on this list?
One Bear Grylls, one Les Stroud.
Yeah.
And then one. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, while he's doing that, just want to, I guess I'll fill the space with some announcements. We are coming up to our last week to sign up for the Kairos class that begins on the 9th. And again, that's a course that Matt Hutchcraft is going to be leading about expanding your biblical worldview, talking about mission work, talk about sharing the gospel, and all this stuff. If you go to our website under the News and Events tab, you can see a sign-up. You'll see a graphic that says Kairos. And if you're in the building, you'll see posters on the wall that talk about the details of Kairos. But if you go to the website, you can sign up. There is a cost to it because there's going to be food provided every day. It says even transportation, Greg. I don't know if you know about that.
No.
It says transportation included.
Really?
Does that mean they might go somewhere during the week?
I don't know what that might mean.
So anyway, it's all inclusive with
okay.
that cost. But if the cost is something that's hanging you up and you want to be a part of this course, come talk to Greg or I, and we'll try to scholarship and supplement that cost somehow.
Yeah.
But that's Kairos, and it's going to be here at the Northridge Building next Monday through Saturday. And go to the website, news and events. Check that out. How are you doing on that list, Greg?
I think I made it my diet already. But
some other announcements. Wednesday nights, we got youth still. That's going to be going through the week, I think, up before Labor Day weekend. They'll have Labor Day weekend off, so they won't have that week. Actually, it's the week after that Monday of Labor Day. That Wednesday, that's so confusing. The Wednesday after that Monday of Labor Day, I think they don't have youth. They take a break, and then they'll be resuming back again this fall when we do the kickoff. More on the block party kickoff a little later. But coming up to this year, as we head into the program year for Wednesday nights with our youth, we would love, if anybody has a passion for working with teenagers, passion for leading a small group, we want to invite you to get in touch with Brax and get involved with our Wednesday night youth program. Same thing with our kids. We're going to be starting our Treasure Quest, or Kids Quest. Changed the name a few years ago. Kids Quest Wednesday nights is going to be coming back beginning in the fall. So excited. 6:30 to 8. It's for 2nd through 5th graders. And Jackie and Courtney are going to be running that. And they would love to have you come and help if you have passion for 2nd through 5th graders. It's pretty easy. You don't need to be experienced or highly skilled at anything. You can just come, and it's teaching, games, music. It's just a really fun, amazing night for kids to be in a Christ-centered environment, learning about the gospel, and hanging out, meeting some new friends, playing some games, singing some songs. So get in touch with Jackie and Courtney now for September when we kick this thing off. They would love to have just a nice, full, boisterous team as we head into the fall. So that's Kids Quest Wednesday nights. As well as just asking for continued help on Sunday mornings with kids ministry and Treasureland on Sunday mornings. If you have a free Sunday, maybe it's even just, one here or there, jump in and you can hold some babies. You can be a small group leader. You can be a check-in person. Talk to Courtney and Jackie, and they will find a spot for you. We need people. Otherwise, we have to start canceling stuff. We'd hate to do that.
no.
How you doing?
I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sweet. So your 10 survival items that
I'm probably gonna die.
are beyond what the normal stuff, and that stuff's like a pair of boots, t-shirt, wool shirt, scarves, gloves, underwear, gaiters. There's a pretty good sized list of things that you get to bring.
I didn't even look at that side.
But the survival items.
Wait. First, wouldn't it be funny if I picked all of mine were the razors?
All right,
No?
so the
Okay.
first thing on your list, and this is a good one because this is what a lot of people do, is the 12 by 12 tarp. And that's a good one.
Shelter.
The next thing on your list was 550 paracord. That's 80 meters of that. That's a good one. You could use that for a lot of different things.
Mhm.
You can actually undo it and multiply the paracord that you have. So you can use that
There's
for
2, right?
lashing.
It's a pair of cords. I thought it was pants. They're not pants. Paracords. No.
You can use it for a lot of different things. One large pot. I think Brax also had that. A flint or ferro rod, which is good because I'm assuming that means you don't know how to start a fire by hand.
Well, I could probably figure that out.
Okay.
But
But
I don't know. You never know. I don't know what. Maybe you don't have good materials. Maybe you don't have
Sure.
good sticks. Maybe it's wet. Maybe
sure, fire is important, especially.
I'd rather make sure that you're gonna have fire than risk the other.
Just don't lose it. One of the seasons, one of the guys One of the guys lost it in the fire. He
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it fell into the fire. And
Oh,
just
man.
crisped it up. The other guy lost it away from his campsite because he was building a fire. He found this tub, and he filled it with water and had a bath. so he lost the ferro
lost
rod
it.
out there.
Ooh.
The next thing on your list was 1/300 roll of a single filament fishing line up to max of 20-pound test. So some fishing line.
Yeah.
That's good. No bigger than 35 assorted barbless hooks. So some fishing line and some hooks. That's good. One primitive bow, recurve or long bow with 9 arrows. That's a good one. Have you ever shot a bow before, Greg?
Not a real good one, so it's primitive.
Have you ever shot it at something living?
No.
Okay.
No. But in a survival situation, Andy, I probably could.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd hit the living thing, but I'd. Yeah.
2/3 pounds of rice, 2/3 pounds of sugar, 2/3 pounds of salt, all separated. So a little bit of carbs.
At the end of the day, you can have rice.
If you don't
eat
hit
it all.
anything with your bow
Yeah.
or catch anything, you got something. Rice is a good filler too.
Mm-hmm.
One hunting knife, one Leatherman multi-tool or similar, and then one hatchet. So those are your 10 items, Greg. And before, when you were talking about survivor shows and whatever, does this renew your optimism of how long you would last? How long do you think you would last?
Oh, I have no confidence I'd be able to use any of these things. It's just, it's nice knowing I have
A
them.
week?
No. I don't know. It depends on the environment. Like alone, when they're in the Arctic, and that's just rough.
But they usually start in like the late fall, so it's like gets down to like
Still.
30s, maybe 40 during the day, maybe down to 20s.
It depends on the environment where I'm at, but I could
Have
survive
you hunted before?
a week. No.
Oh,
No.
you never.
Nope.
Okay, you fished.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
cleaned your own fish?
No.
Okay.
I'm not an outdoorsman.
You're
I like
sort of the indoorsy type.
I like being outdoors, but I'm not an outdoorsman.
Cool. So that's number 10. So that scratches off that.
Why do you need to clean fish when they come out of the water?
Don't
You
you
ever thought
just
about
put it
that?
in the pot? and
Yeah,
just
they
start
come out of
heating it up?
water. They're already clean.
Number 9. This might take a little while too. I want you to construct in a baseball lineup. There are 9 hitter spots. So we'll call it whatever you want, I guess. So you can either pick one or two. Construct your best starting line. What's the best starting lineup of all time? Now that could
Holy
be
cow.
a history of an actual team, or you just give me who's hitting first, who's hitting second, and you have to fill the positions and all that kind of stuff. And you could just pick kind of your fantasy best team of all time.
Just go quick off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'll write them down.
Leading off, I got to go Ricky Henderson.
Number 1,
Ricky,
the
the greatest
he's gonna
leadoff
be
hitter.
playing what, left?
I'll put him in left field. Batting second, just because of the man's incredible ability to make contact. I'm going kind of a traditional old school baseball lineup.
Sure. Well, you get Tony
Greg-
Gwynn. Oh.
Tony Gwynn,
Yep.
exactly who I was thinking of. Right field. Oh man,
Well, you know who I'd go next.
I don't know.
Might as well fill out the outfield spot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Center field. Who am I?
Ken Griffey.
Ooh, I honestly hadn't even thought of Ken Griffey. First part of his career, Ken Griffey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go Ken Griffey. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a little bit of a curveball maybe, because I think he's like one of the most prototypical cleanup hitter, like sluggers. And one of my all-time favorites, because he's such an awesome guy, was Jim Thome. I bet most people would not pick him.
I love
in
Jim
this one.
Thome.
600-plus career homers.
So DH or first base?
We're going with the DH.
Well, American League is better.
Right.
Actually, I prefer. I hope they don't take. I mean, I can see the argument for doing the universal DH, but I'm kind of old school,
Yeah.
and I like when pitchers hit.
I do too.
I like the strategy behind it.
I do too. Even though last year the universal DH, I believe, helped the Dodgers.
Win, yeah. They just put Mookie
They
Betts at
did.
DH, yeah.
Mookie Betts took the pitcher spot in the lineup, basically. I mean,
And it really
But,
wasn't until the most recent years where pitchers were starting to get injured from swinging. It's like, come on.
But if I could have Madison Bumgarner hit, I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Shohei Ohtani.
or Shohei.
So
Anyway,
Tomei's going to be
Man.
the first base or DH?
yeah, and
Or you can change that later.
yeah, I already want to change my outfield. I want to change. I'm going to DH Tony Gwynn.
Okay.
Tony Gwynn was a good outfielder, but
He wasn't gold. He wasn't like.
he was I think, one of the greatest hitters of all time. So let's just let Tony Gwynn do what Tony Gwynn
So you
does.
can put Bo Jackson out.
I'm going to put Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. And where's he going to hit?
He's going to hit right after. Yes, Mike Trout is hitting fifth in my lineup, which seems ridiculous.
So he's going to be
But
in right field.
just in
center.
case Jim Thome strikes out, I got Mike Trout there. Let's just put him in center.
Okay.
And then I'm going. Oh man, who I just had a great. I don't know. Never mind.
Third base, second base, short,
Yeah.
catcher.
Let's go. Oh, I hate myself for saying this. Because I thought his durability gave him way more. I don't think. I make a lot of people mad. I don't think Cal Ripken Jr. was as great a shortstop as his durability. Like, because of the all-time game
Sure.
streak. But if you're talking shortstops, okay, now I'm really hating myself. I might go early career A-Rod.
Oh,
I feel so dirty. But that guy was phenomenal.
he was, yeah.
Um,
He's on a lot of all-time lists.
as he should
So
be.
you'll put him at short.
Steroid controversy or not.
You'll put him at short or third.
I know, and that's a good question, but I think I'll put him at short
Okay, for now.
for now. And holy cow, no, I can't believe I'm
Third and second.
doing this again, but I'm forgetting an outfielder that needs to be in this lineup.
We're going to say
Barry
Barry
Bonds.
Bonds. Yeah, I knew you were going to say.
Can I have Barry Bonds play
Instead of-
third? He's
Well,
got it.
see, here's the thing. You already have a big, massive contact hitter.
I know.
at
We
the
got the
top.
greatest leadoff hitter
You could
ever.
just take Tony G out, put Barry Bonds at DH.
I could do that. Yeah, let's do that.
And then you would.
I
would
love
move
Tony
up-
Gwynn.
I would move Trout up to second.
Okay. Why are you? Yeah.
Why? Why am I? What?
Why are you changing my lineup?
You can do whatever you want.
I'm already changing it. Yeah. So let's go Barry Bonds. Oh, I feel dirty saying that.
DH Trout, center field. Okay, you need a second and a third baseman and a catcher.
Third base, I'm going George Brett. Got to have some fire on this team. I'd be in between George Brett and Mike Schmidt. Second base
Wade Boggs.
or Wade Boggs, yeah.
Yeah.
Second base. What are we? Eight in the order here.
Yeah, you need a second base and a catcher.
Okay,
I mean, each one of
Let's
these
go
players could
catcher.
hit 3 or 4 in any lineup.
right. Let's go catcher instead, and I'm going to move this guy ninth in the order just to do that old trick of like having another leadoff hitter batting ninth. But so catcher, I'm gonna go Yachty. And second base, Pete Rose. This is the all character team.
Yeah. So we
I
got,
hold talent above character on my
So,
baseball time.
we got
baseball
Ricky
team.
Henderson. Man,
He-
I was
He
listening.
was a character in a different way,
He stole what? What was his highest?
like 125 or
That's
something.
bonkers.
And no one steals more than 30 now. Like I
Right.
mean, that's a crazy year. This guy's going to steal 30 bases.
Yeah.
No, 125. In the 80s, like 10 guys were stealing over 100 bases.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You had Vince Coleman, you had Ozzie Smith, you had Ricky Henderson, you had Tim Raines, you had like all these guys stealing 100 plus.
Well, even like 15 years ago, you had guys that were stealing like 80s,
Yeah.
70s, like Juan Pierre. Remember
Mhm.
him?
Yeah, I do.
So we're leading off Ricky Henderson in center field, Mike Trout. batting third, right field, Ken Griffey Jr. Cleanup, I would actually put Bonds there.
Yeah, I would put Bonds in
And
cleanup.
then have Tomei
And then
bat
Tomei
after
bat.
him.
Yeah, switch those two.
And then A-Rod in the sixth. George Brett playing catcher. Yadier Molina. And then your second leadoff guy hitting in the ninth spot is the incomparable Pete Rose.
And my starting pitcher,
Sure.
Sandy Koufax.
See, now that the only way that starting pitcher doesn't work is it's a 9, and so he would be the 10th person. But I'll allow it anyways.
That's 9A.
9A. So that's 9 on
Yeah.
the list of 10 things. Number 8. What's the worst food you ever ate?
Actually, that's an easy one. Pig intestine.
What?
Yeah.
You ate pig intestine on
Yeah.
purpose?
Yeah.
Where?
In Taiwan, and it was a unique. I don't like chewy, like squid or calamari. I don't like I don't mind the taste. I don't like that. It's just like you're eating a rubber band,
Yeah.
and that was how it was. But when
Like flavor wise?
when you bit into it, there wasn't a lot of flavor, but it had this real pungent smell, and the smell was
bile?
like. I don't know how to describe it, but it was not pleasant. It was not. It was not good.
Okay, so pig intestine is the worst food you ever ate. 7. Out of the 7 days of the week, which is your favorite? Some of these are easy.
Oh man. I would usually say Friday. It depends on the time of the year. Saturday, I used to like college football. Sunday, you got NFL. I mean, I don't know. I'll say Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah. I'll say Saturday.
Number 6. You don't have to rank these in order. 6 favorite places you've ever visited. This could be a city. It could be a country, a restaurant. It could be a childhood home. It could be anywhere you've gone to. What are the 6 favorite places that you've gone to?
That's weird. It's hard to think that broadly. You know what I mean? Because I immediately just thought of places.
Yeah.
But
6 favorite places you've ever visited.
it's too hard for me to think through that right now. So I'm going to start with places and see what comes. So, Kauai
Kauai.
for sure.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. I know you have. Dominican Republic.
DR.
Love it. That's my place, my people there. I love the church that we've worked with a lot there. And let's see, Taiwan, as I mentioned, pig intestine aside, incredible country, amazing people. Yeah, it was awesome. Israel, just being able to experience so much. I mean, just the pages of scripture just jump off. I mean, it just becomes real, and that was amazing. So what's that?
5.
4, 5?
One more.
One more?
Uno más.
New York City.
New York City.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Before COVID. No.
It's
I don't know. I always wanted to go.
It's a great
visit
place
New-
to visit. I would
Yeah.
never want to live.
I would live there in a heartbeat.
You would?
What I saw, yes.
Downtown?
Like I know it's
Manhattan?
like a lot different now. Yes, downtown Manhattan. I would love it. I would love to live in a apartment above like where the restaurants and hustle and bustle and stuff going on.
You know which apartment I'd like to live in?
Seinfeld's.
Tom
Yeah.
Hanks and Big.
Yeah,
warehouse
no one could afford to
apartment.
live in that thing. Yeah, that would be sweet.
I don't need the trampoline, but
Yeah, but he had the basketball hoop and
Yeah.
riding a
even
skateboard in there.
outside of all the stuff. Get all the stuff out of there. I just like
Oh, yeah,
the
it's great.
idea of the tall ceiling
Yep.
warehouse kind of apartment. Just
It's kind of
one big
open, like kind of that
space.
corner.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. So I would love to live there above. Well, see, this is hard because I love Chicago too.
Oh,
like
Chicago's
down-
going kind of down the tubes these days. Well, I mean, so is New York.
Everywhere is. I mean, it's a different time, but no, like in the Loop Jordan and I one time stayed in a hotel right across the street from the Chicago Theater, and I don't know, it was just awesome because you could walk everywhere. It's a much smaller kind of area there than New York City, but yeah, I'm a city. I love that hustle and bustle, and I could go downstairs, grab a coffee, grab like, food or whatever like that. Yeah,
I can hear the
I'll do that.
Seinfeld theme playing in the background while it's just showing you doing your normal everyday things.
Yep. Just everyday things.
I was trying to come up with a Seinfeld themed question here, but I couldn't think of one. Maybe another time.
Maybe you should watch the show, Andy.
I don't know.
He would
All right,
love
number
this show.
5. If you were the president, what are
Ooh.
5 things that you would want to do before your term was up? Just you got 4 years.
I
5
could tell you the
things.
first thing I would do by executive order, first day, first hour, first minute in
This is
office,
gonna be funny.
declare Monday, the day after Super Bowl Sunday, national holiday.
Okay.
Everybody gets a day off. I had this idea when I was young, on the West Coast, when the Super Bowl started at like 3 in the afternoon, right? But now living in the Midwest and the Super Bowl starts at like 5, now it's like, seems like it's 5:30 or something, and the game takes forever. But it's just late night. And then in ministry, we often would have like Super Bowl parties and stuff, and it's just late. I just think next day, hey, this is the biggest moment of the year of television as far as like people participating on one thing.
Yep.
Let's just all have the day off the next day.
It's a wonderful use of power.
Can I get your vote?
What are
The
4
wonderful use of power.
4 other things?
For,
that you-
okay, now that I get the
Yep.
really important thing out of the way, I
4
think
other things you'd like to do as a president.
the other 4 are just selfish.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I haven't thought this through at all.
You haven't seen this.
I
list at
know.
all.
4 things I would do as president. I would take. Oh. I don't want to say something that someone's going to say, oh, like,
The controversial.
yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, all
Better
things
you
being
than
equal,
me. Yeah.
all things being equal, there's no like,
What does that mean?
there's no complicated political things in place here.
Okay.
I would take. See, here's the thing. I would take. I'm about to say I would take all the money from, but I don't know where I would take it from, and that's part of our problem.
Where
I
would it
think
go?
in our country is we want to do all this stuff, but we don't want to take money away from something that probably doesn't need that much funding.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we pour a lot of money in that doesn't matter really in the grand scheme of things, and I would put it in things like. Increasing the education opportunities in impoverished areas.
Yep.
Now what that means, that's a whole long conversation of what
Did
that
you
might
listen
entail.
to the Battle Ready yet
No,
with the education one?
no.
Oh, it's so good. You should do that. If you want to listen to a great podcast, Battle Ready, it's called. And
Battle
it's
Ready.
by the McManuses out in California from a church called Mosaic. And
Erwin McManus
Erwin
and
McManus,
his son, Aaron.
Aaron. And it's a great podcast.
Erwin's a fabulous guy.
Yep. Great speaker, great pastor. But they do this podcast, and one of the most recent things they were talking about is education.
Yeah.
Especially through COVID and all the changes that are happening. But just, ideas on how you could restructure it. It's really good. So
Yeah.
check it out.
I'll have to. I just haven't had a chance to catch
So
up on
you'd
much.
increase funding in
Yeah.
education.
And I'm
increase
not smart
funding in-
enough to know how this would work. I just know that there seems to be, like, okay, so growing up in Southern California, in the school I grew up in, the district I grew up in high school, I feel like they talked about college, but I got the guidance counselors a lot saying, like, you should join the military. You should go work for the railroad, which we had a railroad station in our area. A lot of guys' dads worked for, or work for Stater Brothers, which is a big grocery chain out there. The warehouse, the distribution center was in our community, and that's where a lot of people live. And those were all fine jobs. Those were great. A lot of my friends went into the military after high school. I just knew I didn't want to, and I think I just told you the main reason why I didn't want to go to the military. This is the honest truth. I was afraid of laughing when the drill sergeant would get in your face, and I was afraid I would laugh. And people say you would only laugh once. I'm like, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid I would keep laughing.
I don't think you've told me that before.
Yeah, honestly, that's like that thought crossed my mind several times when I was a kid, being called 3-4 times a week by military recruiters. But all I know is I have a feeling like there's just so much opportunity that's missed in some communities, or it's not available to people. And so, like I said, I know this is complicated. I don't know where,
So just
know we should reallocate
restructuring how
a
we're
lot
spending
of-
our money.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Prioritize basic things, education, food, and health, and health across the board for people. So,
what's something
Yeah.
else you would do?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If I was president,
Yeah, I was thinking. I had thoughts about bumping that down to like a lower number, so it's only
Yeah.
like 2 things. But
'cause
that's hard.
I don't know. I have a feeling some people would say things like pay teachers more, or
I would lump that all in, just a massive overhaul on how we're spending federal money.
right, and that's why I think that's why I'm having a problem. There's a million things that we could do differently,
Right.
but I think if we had maybe, I think as a society, as human beings, we could probably agree on like 5 or 6 major areas that we need to make sure. Okay, let's at least get this right. Let's at least make sure that people aren't starving. Which it's just weird that in America
But we don't even do that.
We don't. That's what I'm saying. Let's
Yeah.
make sure that people have the care they need. Whether that's like under that would be housing, would be mental health issues. Which I think would solve a lot of our homeless issues and things like that. But yeah. And so I fear like I fear like some people would think like it's just such a socialist idea. But I don't.
I think there's a vast misunderstanding about what some of those
Right.
terms are, such as social.
To me, this comes from just kind of a biblical Christian heart. I think it's just like why would we want people to suffer if we have the ability to do anything? Let's just do a couple things well, where we're making sure people's basic things are covered, and along with that, I think is education is important, but I think that probably needs to look different than it does now. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I think we've done a lot.
there's
of
a lot
things.
wrapped up in the way our education model is.
We've done a lot of things the same way for so long,
Yeah, it's hard
and we haven't
change
made
it.
adjustments very well.
no.
The world's a lot different than it was 20 years ago,
Mhm.
10 years ago, and we haven't adjusted the way in which we do things all
Yeah.
that well.
No.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one. What do you have number 4? Vehicles, cars. They have 4 wheels. What's your dream car?
I'll only say this because whenever like as a kid, you always talk about my dream car,
Yeah,
and you
have a
think you're
dream
going to
car.
get it when you're 16 or whatever. I always used to say Porsche 911 because I like the way they look. I know nothing about cars really,
Yeah.
but so I'll just stick with that. Porsche 911. I know it's like okay, that's a good one.
It's
But
always
I think
been
it'd be
one of
cool
my-
to have a Tesla now. We see those. My boys love them.
Yeah.
Every time we see them, like one on the road, they point it out. That's the one car they point out. Asher kind of likes muscle cars, like the way they look.
Yep.
Some of the newer ones, like Chargers, and the newer kind of retro muscle, body style. But so he'll point those out, or even the newer Corvette, which are. I've never been a huge Corvette guy, but the new ones are pretty sweet looking. I think. But
Yeah, maybe.
but I don't know, man. I'm also happy with just like I don't know, just like a Chevy Tahoe or something would be cool.
Honda Element.
Honda Element was awesome, dude. It was everything that a Jeep owner wished they had.
Oh, come on. You got Seinfeld. I got Jeeps. But by the way, I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I'm not going to. I don't even want to admit that I even look at some of these things.
Oh.
I was on a dating site, the other day, and there was
Farmers only?
there was this
You
young lady.
don't have to be lonely. Farmers only.
There was this young lady who put that she was into retrofuturism.
What?
Right. I had no idea what that meant. Do you have any clue what retrofuturism?
So
one word. It was one word. It
So
wasn't
that's
even
like the Jetsons? She like the
compounded.
Jetsons? It's like
was so confused.
someone from the 1950s take on what the future would look like.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Um,
Retrofuturism.
So like a couple of weeks ago, Evan, my 9-year-old son, was talking to Asher, my 11-year-old son, and was like, I don't know what they were referencing, but he's like, oh yeah, that's an OG meme, like some meme. He's like, that's an OG, which I'm like, OG? I didn't know you knew what that term. They just know it means old, right, or original.
Original.
That's an OG meme. That's from like 6 months ago. I was like, what? That's the time frame we were dealing with kids. Is like 6 months ago is old.
Yeah.
So what does retrofuturism mean? I don't know.
I have no idea. If anybody knows out there,
I think it's
put it in
someone
the
who's
comments.
a fan of the Jetsons.
Whether or not I should even consider, contacting this person to go on a
Depends.
date.
Do you consider yourself a retrofuturist?
I don't know if I do or not. Maybe. I don't know.
Are we
Number
allowed to
3.
Siri on here.
Number 3. Besides God,
Oh, great.
name 3 people from the Bible you'd like to meet or talk to when you get to heaven. From the Bible.
Yeah.
Not like Steve McQueen or anything. Is he? Do you think he'd be in heaven? I don't know.
Okay, so 3 biblical people
People
slash
from the Bible
characters other
that
than
you would like
than
to
God.
meet when you get to
Okay,
heaven.
so Lazarus.
Okay. What would you talk about?
Dude, what was it like being in heaven and being called back? Yeah, everyone else thinks that's an awesome story except for Lazarus.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
I was there. No, but I mean, that's an interesting story, and I don't know. Let's see. I feel like I used to think about this, and now I can't even think like who. I think a lot of people probably say the Apostle Paul, and I would go there, but we have so much of his story in Scripture, or at least a good idea of his experience. Same with like David and some of the big guys we know a lot about, or it'd still be cool to
That's
sit
what
and talk to
Barack
him.
said David just because we were in the series.
Yeah.
And he'd spent
Yeah.
all last week preparing
Right.
for his sermon.
And you want to kind of get more into the guy's
So,
mind
yeah.
and experience. Plus, like, let's be honest, it'd be cool to hang out with the king.
Yeah.
But
So you got Lazarus.
yeah, I would go Lazarus. I would go because I would like to see like how their story played out. Woman at the Well, because I love that story. I love the interaction.
I heard a lot of people want to be her friend.
I don't want to be that kind of friend.
Oh, okay.
I want to see the way I
See
want
what
to see
happened
her
after
life
she
after
talked to
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. How about John? Because I want to ask him and say, okay, dude, once and for all, Revelation. How much of this do you think we ought to be taking literal? How much of this is figurative, poetic?
Sure.
I think John would be a fascinating guy.
Cool.
So, yeah.
That's a good one. We're
Thanks.
coming
Are there
down-
bad ones? Yeah. Are there bad ones to say you would want to hang out with?
I don't know. I don't think I would have ever heard anybody say the woman at the well.
Well, I've always loved that story. Okay, so there's a movie called The Gospel of John a few years back. It came out about the same time as The Passion.
Wasn't that the guy who
The
was
guy
in
from Lost. Yeah. Which I never watched that show, but as Desmond from
Desmond.
Lost was the
I
guy
love
that
you,
played
Penny.
Jesus. But I loved the interaction in that movie with that story because it was a lot more playful, like jovial. Like there was some laughter going on between Jesus and the woman, and
the conversation that they have, in the Bible, it seems so serious.
yeah. But I don't know. I just, she immediately becomes an evangelist and goes and starts.
Maybe she was trying to flirt with him.
maybe at the time.
Yeah. Before she
but
knew who he realized who he
yeah,
was.
that's kind of then it got awkward, right? But I don't know. I just wanted to see like where she went, what happened after that.
Yeah. Number 2. 2 words that best describe you. How would you describe yourself? The best 2 words. That
I
you
would say retro futurist.
That's 1 word, by the way.
Is it?
Apparently, in the bio.
I'm googling what is a retro futurist.
That's one thing I didn't even do.
What is retro futurism?
I stared at it long enough and I got confused.
Oh, I'm not far off because immediately the images that come up are like the 50s look of like what they think the futures look like. If you go to Disneyland and you go to Tomorrowland, this is what it looks like.
Okay,
That,
yeah.
like,
So Jetsons.
hokey,
Yeah.
like 1950s, 40s era robot,
Okay.
all that stuff.
But it's actually a thing.
Which I guess if you
When you
maybe
Googled it, it came up
yeah,
with a description. What is it? What is?
retro futurist aesthetic wiki fandom. So there's a fandom
Oh,
group.
so it's just
So
kind
that's
of a nerd thing.
Art Deco. Oh, that's related. It's the Adam. I don't know. Adam Punk, Cyberpunk. So it's like
Steampunk.
it's almost like an aesthetic, I guess, of that look and the genre of.
So you
things.
would
So-
describe yourself as retro?
No,
future-
I just
okay.
thought I was googling it. So
2
how would I
words to
describe
describe
myself?
yourself. And then don't worry about being like a humble brag or anything like that.
That's 2 words. Humble brag.
No, I mean don't like
Humble
if you
bragger?
feel like you're kind.
No, I
person,
know.
same, you know.
Simple yet complex.
Is that you want to use both of your words?
Yeah, no, that's 3 words. Simply complex. No, oh man, I don't know. I don't like talking about myself.
I know you don't. Neither do I. I don't like talking about you either.
I don't. Yeah, no one likes talking about me. I don't know.
If your wife, what do you think your wife would say? Is that hard?
Amazing and awesome. I don't know. I don't know how to describe myself in 2 words. I talk too much to it.
I think patient would be one of them.
Yeah,
You're very patient.
it's taken a long time for me to figure this out.
Well, I'm having to be patient. I'm trying to move things along.
Patient for sure. I am patient. It's
Maybe there's even a better word. For that.
frustratingly patient.
No, that you're. I don't know.
Slow.
You're very compassionate too.
Yeah. Maybe not at first, but yeah, like, because my first response is often to make a joke about something or to even make fun, even. But like, then I feel bad later.
Yeah, but you will do things for people. You just do things, and are always willing to be there for people. No, you might say no, but I see it.
I just
I see
well, I
that
don't.
all the time.
I think yes. My default is yeah. Like I agree with that, and I want to be.
I don't know
helpful.
if it's more out of a sense of duty or if because.
No, I like to help. I like to help. I like to be helpful, and I like to go out of my way to help people, like a service thing. And it's just a wiring. It's a gifting. I think it's not out of duty. It's just I like to. The reason why I kind of like I'm like is because I wish I could do it more. Like
Sure.
I don't have the
That
opportunity
means that
now.
that's the people that attribute is in, they would say that, something like that, where you wish you could do more.
Yeah. No, I get
know what
that.
I mean?
No, I get what you're saying, but I also I literally mean that like in the sense of like it's hard to be able to do that kind of stuff more often when you got littles.
Sure.
And you got family, and you know my wife
But I don't have
works
any-
and has obligations.
I don't have
and-
any of that, and I
Yeah,
grunt and complain about
I
it.
know.
Thank
No.
you. Number 1, and this is the last one. What is one thing on your bucket list?
I'm gonna go to New Zealand.
New Zealand.
You know why?
Not because you love the Lord of the Rings.
Nah,
Okay, yeah, I know.
it's okay.
Yeah. Why?
No predators there. No, like you
Not
could
like
go.
Australia?
Yeah, Australia. Everything's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And then like I know there's probably how far away are they? They're probably like way farther away than we think. It's just they're both way down there. To us, they're right next door to
Way
each
down
other,
under?
way down under. But New Zealand is probably several hundred thousand, or not thousand, several hundred
Several
or
hundred thousand
1,000
billion
miles.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Australia, right?
I
but
have no idea how far away they are.
I don't either. Let's just continue to be ignorant. Don't look it up.
I'm gonna look it up. Keep telling us why.
This is what the world complains about Americans is we don't know anything about anywhere else. But
well, you
I bet
well
you-
traveled.
well, I will tell you that let's say from Sydney to
Takes from a flight
Wellington.
time. It takes 5 hours and 32 minutes.
okay, so you're talking a couple thousand miles, right? Well, where'd you go from? Just Australia? Where in the middle? Australia's huge.
2582 from middle of
That's-
Australia to New Zealand.
No one's in the middle of Australia. Who's making this trek?
Google is.
Okay, Sydney, Australia to I think is Christchurch, New Zealand on the north side or what or Wellington, I don't know.
I think Sydney is good because that's just right on
I'm
that.
talking New Zealand. Sydney to
1381.
Okay. So you're talking a couple hour flight. That's so but to my point, so that's the distance from like I don't know, not quite here to the maybe here to the West Coast like Oregon, you know.
Yeah, 3 hours and
Um,
11 minutes. That'd be like from here to when I take the flight to LA.
Yeah. That's
About
the same
that.
flight
Maybe a little shorter.
flight
than
time, less mileage, but cuz I think here to LA
But you
is
would
closer
fly
to here.
straight to New Zealand. Why would you go to, or would you go to Australia?
No, I know. Well, the reason why I brought this up is we lump those two places like it's like completely the same because they're way down there, but they're real. I mean, they're
very different.
far apart, and they're very different. In Australia, everything is trying to kill you in Australia. Like every insect, every animal, like everything's deadly. It seems like. And
New
in
Zealand
New
is this
Zealand,
weird
it's just like this
combination
weird,
of-
pristine, like amazing landscapes.
Yeah. Combination of like Hawaii and Iceland or
Yeah,
Greenland.
Yeah, well, and Iceland's another place that I would love to go too. But yeah, I've always wanted to go to New Zealand.
There you
bucket
go.
list. There you go.
There's 10 things.
10 things that I hate about you is what it should be called.
10 things
Yeah.
why I hate you for asking me those
Yeah.
10 things.
We didn't answer one of them. I forgot.
The president one.
Oh yeah, yeah, doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
I
It's never
just
going to
kinda
happen.
Moved on. But there you go.
If I was president, I would fly to New Zealand.
So let's talk real quick about announcement stuff. Any
Sure.
other news and events or things that are happening around Northridge that aren't even necessarily news things? Just what's something that people Northridgers would be interested in knowing? We got mostly the serving kids and youth stuff, Kairos class.
Yeah.
While you were filling out your sheet
Mhm.
there,
Well, there's a small group kickoff rally coming up on the 15th,
August
August 15th.
15th.
That's for any small
Is
group
that a
leader.
Sunday
That's a Sunday evening.
evening.
There'll be dinner. And it's a time for small group leaders to come together, and we're going to talk about really throw out what the plans are for this fall and the next ministry season. But also for anyone who's even considered being a small group leader or thought about, what it would be like or want to have more information about what our small groups are like and what it means to lead, you're welcome to come also. And
What
hang out
if you are a small group leader, maybe somebody in your small group that you would think would be a great
Yep.
leader? What if you just brought them with?
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Invite that person.
Okay.
If you know of someone that you think, this person should be leading a small group.
As much as I'd want to be in their,
yeah.
as much as you'd want to
Right.
stay in their small group.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some small groups out there where every person
Yeah.
could probably lead their own small
there
group.
are. And it's okay. It's hard. It's one of those hard things because I was just having this conversation with a small group leader about an hour ago about their coming group this fall. And our natural tendency, I think, as humans is to be just tribal and like, hey, this is my group, and I got my little circle, and we're going to close off, and no one else in, nobody out. Like, this is it. And to some degree, maybe the way we talk about small groups feeds into that, because we talk about doing life together, and we hear awesome stories about how small groups are, how they're serving one another and caring for one another and that. But we also don't want people to be left out alone. And so this particular leader was telling me how when they first came around, they were looking for a group, and there was, this is a woman, there was only one woman's group, and she wanted to be in a woman's small group. And she was told, sorry, there's no room. And she was like, oh, it was just hard because I was new to the church, and like I felt like that was the place to connect, and I was told, and I tried it, and I was told no. And so we don't want that. We don't want anyone to be told, no, there's no room for you. So that complicates things, because if you're in a great group and you have a great group of people, they're like, but, my living room only literally, I can't fit more than 10 people or 13 people in this room. We literally have no room for anyone else. Then we talk about, well, how can we multiply your group, and who's in your group that can be leading their own group. And that's hard things. Growing is difficult, but that's where we're at with that, because we don't want people to be left out and want to keep growing. So
August 15th.
August 15th.
Do they need to RSVP for that?
Yes, you can
How
email
do you
me
do
right
that?
now, or there's an event out there on the church calendar. You could click on and RSVP for that.
Okay, so go to the website, RSVP for it, or GREGGT@nrf.life.
Yeah. So a couple days ago, I gave someone my personal email for something. I think it was at the dentist office, and I was giving it to over. I don't know why. No, I couldn't have given it to her over the phone, because anyway, my Gmail is just GregTizer@gmail, and with 2 G's in there. But I think it was written down on something, and she was repeating it back to me. That's what it was at the desk at the dentist office. And she's like, okay, so your email is GregTizer at I was like, actually, that's brilliant. I'm going to start telling people that's
Greg
what
G.
my email address is, because it's more like a middle initial instead of, okay, so I got 2 G's at the end of my name, and make sure you get the second G. Let's tell them it's Greg G. Tizer. There we go.
There you go. Janice, thanks for putting that
Yeah.
in the chat. It's another announcement, which there's 2 parts to that. First, I'm on their website. If you go to citiescopchurch.com, and that's cities as plural cities, their launch party is October 3rd, and then they're going to have a launching of the church kind of at that event. You can sign up for that. But Glenn Hirschberg is actually going to be back here in the middle of August to preach on a weekend. And
Yep.
I might even try to get in touch with him to see if he'd want to come
Hey, that'd be
and
cool.
be a guest on the podcast
Yeah.
the week before he preaches.
That'd be sweet.
So, yeah, they're still plugging ahead. If you go to their website, you can learn more information about Cities Cop Church, Glenn Hirschberger, and oh my goodness, I'm blanking. This Tony.
Yeah, I am too.
Shoot. So yeah, go
Our
check.
staff.
Go to their Tony Patsnick.
Yeah.
Eesh. He was the guy who was here back in June on not Father's Day weekend.
Was it Father's Day weekend?
I don't remember.
No, it wasn't.
No.
But they were here.
They were here.
Yeah.
So, what other announcements? Any other announcements that you can think of?
Block parties coming up.
Yes,
In
that's
September?
The
September
weekend after.
11th?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It is what it is,
That's
Andy.
Saturday.
Saturday, September 11th. The
Okay.
weekend, the Saturday following Labor Day.
Labor Day week. Yep.
Yeah.
And we are being able to do a full event,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hopefully going to be
So
here
far.
in our parking lot.
Yep. Should be.
Yep. And we're going to have, it's going to be state fair themed.
It is the Northridge State Fair, which
Yep.
I guess is a theme that This was before I was here, but Northridge did back in 2013.
It was the
a lot
second
of
block
fun.
party that we did.
Okay.
The first block party we did, we had no idea
Yeah.
what we were doing. Terry Gilsrud was not on the team yet, and we had Rick Wald and his band come and jam out in the parking
Yeah.
lot. We roasted a whole pig.
No. That was I was
That
here
was the
then.
state fair one.
No,
Oh,
State
that
Fair
was-
was 2013.
Okay.
They did with like exhibits and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I was here for that one. That was the first like big block party we did.
Okay. So, the year before that,
years
though,
before, they used to do like it wasn't a one-time event. It was kind of more of the church kind of kickoff,
yeah,
where
but
it was
but-
after the service Saturday night, and then
yeah,
also
but
Sunday.
before we did more formal stuff attached to the block party.
Mhm.
We had that one block party.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you weren't here the year that Rick.
yeah.
Oh, you
That
were?
was my first year. Yeah.
Okay, so that must have been that.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Oh, I don't know. They all blend together.
Remember when you said we had no idea what we were doing? That was me. That had no idea what I was doing. Hey, yeah, let's put this big event together.
Well,
and Rick Wald's like
we
cover
didn't
band
know
was
what we were
sweet.
doing, right?
No, not
yeah,
at
we
all.
had no idea, and it was before
Yeah.
Terry was on the team.
That was, and
So,
that's why I was like,
That's yeah.
told Terry McHecker, I'm like, we really need to get Terry Gilsrud here
We need
to
help.
to do the events
Yeah.
because she'd be great at it. So
We're doing another one this year to kick off the program.
the following year is when I cracked my head
Yeah,
with the fence post driver.
that was the was that the '50s one?
probably.
Yeah, the '50s theme.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we had the cowboy, the
Yeah.
Western theme.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
then we had COVID.
And we had COVID theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone wearing masks and
Well, we didn't even have a kickoff.
we did not.
thing.
No, we didn't.
So this year it's going to be on the 11th,
Mhm.
and state fair theme, food.
Yeah.
We have a great band that's going to come and do some music. Concrete
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Should be cool.
We have it's kind of like what they do at the state fair as exhibits for your talents.
Yep.
If you'd like to display and share that with the church, talk to Terry
Yep. Terry
Gilsrud.
Gilsrud.
Terry with with two
Two
R's.
R's.
Sorry, the other one's one R.
Yeah.
2 R's TERRIG at
TERR.
nrf.life. Or you can just get in touch with the office. That'd be fine too.
Yeah.
Office at nrf.
So if you do any type of like artistic thing, painting, quilting, sculpting, I don't know, whatever would be in a cool like exhibit hall
no,
that you just want to display, people aren't
display,
going to
not
take it.
sell.
Yeah, you're not selling,
Yeah.
selling stuff. It's just
So
a display of like
you make a bunch of
talents,
bracelets.
yeah.
It's not like you can come and sell them.
No, yeah, it's not a vendor.
Yeah.
Like we don't have a vendor booth. That's one thing.
Yeah.
It's like you don't get to come and sell stuff. But if you have things that are just cool, things that you've made to display, yeah, we just like putting on display cool, talented people that we have around Northridge. So we're doing an exhibit hall for that.
Yeah. Well,
There's a kiddie parade.
What does that mean?
Like kids dress up and they could decorate their bikes or trikes and all that, and there's gonna be a little parade for them.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a tricycle you would like to decorate? Andy?
don't.
No. Okay.
I don't.
Even in a retro futurist motif,
I don't.
like a hovercraft or something. Get
A hoverboard?
Hoverboard. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else about? There'll be more information about.
Yeah,
the block
lots more
party
information
I mean, we're
coming.
just starting to trickle in some of the stuff, and some of the
Yeah.
details have not even been finalized, and so we don't want to say something that won't actually happen.
Yep.
But yeah. Other announcements. Where are we at? Speaking of all that things related, sort of, is anything new on the building? We're just waiting on the city. still.
Everything that we can do is in the hands of the city of Rogers at this point.
And we're waiting for their next
We're
council
waiting for
meeting.
their next council meeting.
Okay. If they're out there, council meeting.
Pray that we will get on
please-
their their agenda for the August 10th, I believe,
Okay.
is their next council meeting that we get on their agenda.
All right.
Yeah,
August 10th,
so we
next
can
council meeting.
start this thing.
We need to be on that agenda. So
Yeah.
cool. Ben and Terry are still, actually, this weekend will be sort of their halfway point on their sabbatical. So keep praying for them. They got a lot of complicated things happening in their family right now, as well as they're just trying to take a step back from Northridge for a little while to both renew and refresh just their bodies and the vision for Northridge.
Yeah.
So it feels like they've been gone forever.
Yeah, well, it's 1 week longer than normal right now because they're often gone for
Right.
about 3 weeks in
3
July,
weeks.
and now it's the 4th week. It's like, wait, this is like the 4th week in July without.
What do you
Ben,
what is
Terry
it like
coming
to be
back.
in charge?
Why do you keep asking me this?
I don't know. Do you like being the
I don't
boss?
feel like I'm in charge of anything, man.
You are. What do you mean? You might not feel like it. but
No,
you are.
well, that's fine. That's all fine and good.
Would you ever want to plant your own church?
Plant? I don't think so.
You wouldn't want to be the pastor and plant your own church, like lead pastor.
Not to plant a church, no. I don't think I would plant a new church.
Okay.
No, it looks too hard. No. Okay, so
But the idea of
if it was just
designing-
me and me alone, I wouldn't. And I'm not. This is. My wife will be the first to tell you she would not be a fan of that. It's come up before,
Sure.
like years ago, and she's like, no, that's not for us. I got the signal. I got the message loud and clear that that's not.
Mostly because just the amount of work.
Yeah.
entails.
Anyway, not that it's work. Like, we're not afraid of work. It's just the type of work. It's hard.
it's a lot of
hard.
time.
It's time and it's hard.
And energy,
Yeah.
emotional energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what.
I mean,
like,
even
some
if
of
you
these
had
guys
a
go through,
building-
like,
Right off the get-go to meet.
yeah,
Like hire a few staff people. I think the concept of like constructing a church from just as an organization from the ground up, I think is intriguing. I would never.
well, it depends on the support though too. Like I feel like Converge, there's a good support structure. Usually have some like partners and some good. Like I think right when I started here was right when Mosaic launched, when Eric was launching Mosaic in Maple Grove.
So was he here
And-
when you first started?
Mm-mm.
So he
It
had
was like
already-
the week before I started was, I think the week before was the commissioning and
Okay.
and all that, the service here.
That's right. You started in the fall, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And,
you spent the summer,
I just,
spring, and
I know like about 30 people from Northridge went to help at least initially with
I think it
that.
was more than that. I think
Was
it was
it?
more like 70.
Wow.
And I sent almost a whole full worship.
Yeah.
team.
See, so that would be great. That would be awesome. I feel like that's because Ben and Terry are church planters to the core, and they get that. But not every, I will say, of very few, like a small percentage of established, well-run, like functioning churches would do that. Like some would say, yeah, if anyone wants to go along and help this little project that, someone's doing, yeah, if you really feel called, you go ahead, but we're going to keep charging ahead here. But I feel like with Ben and Terry, that's their heart, and they're going to be like, okay, hey, some of you need to go.
Yeah.
Like I could hear Ben saying, like, some of you need to go and help with this church plant.
And
with
it's not the
Eric.
first time that
Like,
they did that.
Right. No, I know
They did that
yeah.
with Clarity.
Yeah. Yep.
They did that with
Connections.
Connections Church.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you get the right partner and the right, church to be alongside you, like Northridge would be, like Ben,
Yeah.
and Terry's heart is there. Then that would make, not that it would be easier.
Do you think
it'd be a much better start, I think, or launch.
Do you think Jordan would be opposed to you planning a church in Kauai? Under the umbrella of Converge and Northridge Fellowship?
Do you want to start one? Are we announcing something here, Andy?
We're not.
No. I think now that when you frame it that way, she probably would, because I would say, hey, I think we need to move to Kauai. I don't even like, this is how beautiful I thought and amazing I thought Kauai was. I hate the heat. You know this. I hate the heat and humidity. And I thought, like, when I first got off the plane, my first thought was like, I'm going to die. Because I used to have my beard a lot fuller, a lot thicker, and that's the first thing I felt was like just like air attacking my face, my beard. I'm like, I need to shave, and I'm gonna die. But after like a couple hours, I was like, oh my
You got
goodness,
used to it.
this place is amazing.
Yeah. Or
And you
was
can't
worth
help
the-
but relax there.
Yeah.
You can't help but relax. If you are one that struggles to relax on
Go
vacation,
to Kauai. Kauai is actually the best
Yeah.
island for that.
yeah,
Because
it's not as touristy.
Oahu is more active. There's more things to
Yeah.
do. It's smaller. Kauai, there's less things to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the max speed limit on the island, I think, is like 50 miles an hour. You can't even go fast on that.
Yeah, you can't.
Don't rent the
Sports car?
I
No,
rented a
don't.
Chevy Camaro convertible,
Yeah.
and totally did not get to use the thing at
Yeah.
all in terms of what it was. Yeah, I mean, it was
You
still
can't
nice
help
to
but
have the
relax
convertible.
there, and
Yeah.
it's just like, and you just want to sit and like look around. It's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, if that was the case, I'd be like, hey, Jordan, like, I think we're called to this. Yeah.
All right. What other news and bits? We're going to be doing something this starting next weekend.
I didn't answer your question.
About,
What's it like to be in charge?
Oh,
And I said I'm not. I don't feel like I am. Like, the reason why is because, like, our staff's incredible. Like, they just do what they're supposed to do. Like, I feel like Ben probably feels that way most of the time with our staff. Is I don't have to worry about, like,
micromanaging.
yeah,
people.
it's like they have their ministry. They do what they
Would
do.
you have the power to fire me?
Should I? Should we try it? Can we
I'm
test it out?
preaching this weekend, and you might want to fire
Okay,
me after
we'll
this
see.
weekend.
After Saturday night. No, because that means I'd have to fill in
You
Sunday.
could wait till Sunday morning.
I don't believe I have that
Okay.
authority.
Other news and stuff. Let's move on. We're doing starting on the 7th and 8th. We're going to be starting to do some promo and raising awareness for ministries that are around Northridge. And we're going to be starting with our Love Each Other ministries on the 7th and the 8th of August, which means out here in the atrium, we're going to have some tables set up, some information, some cards for you to fill out and let us know how you'd like to be a part and serving alongside different things, a way for you to respond. Am I getting that all right?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Sounds all good to me.
Ministry, what was it called? It's not what we used to call it.
It's the ministry weekend. It's a Love Each Other. It's a family ministry weekend. In years past, we've done like what we call a ministry fair.
I
And
was trying to
yeah, where we'd have
saying
like every ministry out here represented, and it's a little overwhelming. I think
Sure.
we got a lot going on, but
So we're just going to keep it vision,
yeah,
separated by vision. Love
So-
God, love each other, make a difference. And
Yeah.
so this is all the love each other stuff.
love each other. It's what we would call like family ministry. So children's, youth, adult ministries, which is small groups and men's and women's ministry, and then we got connections in there also, and events.
Yep.
So stuff, if you think of like the life of the church and people who belong to Northridge and what we do functionally, that, those kind of ministries.
Yep.
And so you could get more info about the ministries themselves, and also what it would look like to serve in one of those ministries. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Later this
That'd be
month,
good.
we're going to do the worship ministry.
Yeah.
I think initially I had it the following week after.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to do it later
Yeah.
because I'm planning a worship team event, or I'm have people planning it. Kind of like how you've done that before.
Yeah.
I have somebody on your team. So there's people going to be planning a worship team gathering where we just kind of get together and refresh what we're trying to do, give people a chance to renew and refresh their commitments to the worship team. Kind of the timing of it all, you'd like to be able to do something after this, the weekend highlight of that here
Yeah.
in the building, because you
Yeah.
can invite people to that
Yeah.
event with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if the timing is going to work on all that stuff. The other option is, hey, I could get some people to run a table out here because of that event.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this or that. So that starts this weekend, and we're going to be trying some things out. So make sure you stop by a table and talk to people that are going to be there sharing about these different ministries and get involved.
Get involved.
Yeah, I know it's hard if you've been out of the game for a while, just kind of get back in the stream. But I want to really want to encourage you to get back involved. And maybe you had something that you were doing and then you stopped doing it. It was just too easy to stop doing it. Keep stopping.
Keep stop.
Keep stop.
Keep stop doing it.
What's that Kevin James stand up? Never stopping or whatever it is.
I don't know.
Oh, he has a good stand up that's got a funny
Really?
triple negative thing in there.
I don't know if I've seen his stand up.
Oh, it's really good. It's actually pretty clean too.
Okay.
He's one of the funnier, clean comics out there. Other news.
One thing I was going to mention along with that, why this is so important. One, it's just because it's to be part of the church. It's like just to do your part. One of the Northridge values we don't talk about a lot because if we just blurted it out, it sounds kind of like, I don't know, not mean-spirited, I guess. But one of our values is nobody stands around. And the reason why is because, like you said, we're on a team. The church is to be a body, right? And so we talk about nobody stands alone a lot, which is also a value, but nobody stands around. Like everyone has a ministry. Everyone has a part. If you're a believer, if you're part of Northridge, you should have a part in what the church is doing.
Yeah.
And so
part of that is just responsibility, being a responsibility
part of it's
thing,
responsibility.
but it's also a purpose thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's created with a unique set of gifts, talents, and there's a reason that you're here. Mm-hmm. And that means that you're necessary to what God's doing here at Northridge. Yeah. And you have a distinct purpose for how He wants to use you here.
Yeah.
By the way, it's Kevin James, not Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is not clean comedy.
Oh no, he would not be.
You would not like
Kevin
that. But Kevin James.
You said Kevin James.
Did I?
I think, yeah.
Okay, thank goodness.
At least that's who I was
Never
picturing.
don't give up. That's what he said.
Never don't give up. Did you see any of his YouTube, like his videos over the quarantine where he was doing like, like he was editing himself into like movie trailers and stuff, and he would be like the bad sound guy, and he'd have like the boom mic,
like hit it.
Yeah, and he'd hit the guy, or he'd be like in the frame, like kind of just
funny.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Sorry, I just totally derailed your serious moment there.
No, it's okay. I'm used to it. I'm usually the one that does that. Got a taste of my own medicine.
Tastes like pig intestine.
I forgot what I was even saying.
Good.
Oh, I know what I was saying. The other thing. So just a little bit ago, this afternoon, I had lunch with a group of other small group pastors in the area, just kind of a network thing. And one of them is working on totally reshaping like their church vision for like spiritual formation, adult formation kind of thing. And so he was asking us, what are some of, the 4, markers of a spiritually mature individual. And he said he's been emailing all kinds of pastors that he knows, just kind of getting their ideas on this, and internationally too, not just like around Minnesota, but across the country and across the world, missionaries and people he knows. And most come with a certain set of answers, consistent, prayer and Bible intake and, things like that. But serving was one of them that is definitely on the list and pops up everywhere across the world. And I just think it's something you learn when you're serving. You're allowing God to use your gifts that He's given you, right? But if you go, let's take it to the level of, serving could be like moving chairs around, setting up tables, which is awesome. But if you go to another level of leading, third grade boys small group or class on a Sunday morning, and some people would be terrified by that idea, but you learn and you grow so much in just preparing and just being open to okay, God, yeah, I'll lead a small group of kids, or a middle school small group on Sunday mornings or whatever. Yeah, okay, I'll step in and I'll serve in that way. And God just grows you so much in those times. But when I finally stepped forward, a buddy of mine, I think, well, the story I shared a couple weeks ago about Mike, the guy who passed away a few weeks ago, but he asked me to just start unlocking doors and stuff, and I was like, no, I think I want to serve in junior high ministry. It was like kind of accidentally just slipped out, but as soon as I started leading junior high small group, I like just knew, okay, God's doing something here, and in me more than these kids. I thought I was going to help like junior high kids, but no, like he just grew me so much, and so that's where I think serving is so important. It's when you're not doing it, you feel like, it's just one more thing I'm supposed to do. But when you get into it and you're regularly committed to serving on a team, it just God just grows you in those moments. You just get way more out of it than you could possibly give. So that's why I think it's really important and why we talk about it a lot.
Well, and if you feel stuck too in life or just spiritually, emotionally, any of those kinds of things, I think one of the recommendations that I would give you is find somewhere to volunteer. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't need to be here at Northridge. Yeah. But do something outside of that benefits somebody other than yourself.
Yeah. Something bigger than you.
Come and hang out with kids here. Be on the connections team. Yeah. Help somebody move. I know there's a lot of people that need help moving. Yeah. Go to Cross and volunteer at Cross. Anything that has to do with helping somebody that's not yourself. Yeah. Well, that's good. So yeah, ministry highlight weekends, family ministry weekend. I don't know any other news things that people need to know about.
What is in the news?
Sundays on Saturdays is coming up.
Is that 20 something? August 20, 21.
21. August 21st. That's a Saturday following the Saturday service. Hang out here after the church service. Come for the service and then hang out, or just come for the ice cream, I guess.
I'll do both.
There's still people that if you go to church on Saturday, they don't.
Yeah,
count.
It doesn't count. Yeah, I got to come back tomorrow. Yeah.
So come for both. We don't care. But Saturdays on Sundays on Saturdays. That's pretty much the only other events. Mm-hmm. I had thoughts about doing like a throwback worship night, where we would do like worship songs from like the 80s and 90s.
Because you're a retro futurist.
I wasn't even thinking about that. That was we were planning that a long time ago.
I know. Yeah.
And then it's funny, Out of the Dust, they did a song that was from the late 90s, early 2000s. DC Talk in the Light, which I had been asked a few weeks prior to that to do that song. I can't remember. It was Laura Genvic's parents.
The Tuts.
Yeah, they asked me about that song.
Yeah.
So anyway, keep an eye out for that throwback worship night. We still might do something casual where it's just get together, and you might not even put stuff up on the screen. You might have to just Google it along with me while I, take crowd submissions and try to remember how they go.
That could be fun.
Yeah. Just a nice, relaxed time. Actually, it would be better if we had some sort of maybe not with the weather like it is, but like an outdoor amphitheater. Yeah. Anyway, any other news? Any other announcements that we need to do?
I don't think so.
Okay. If you know who John Schrupp is, he's going to be speaking and preaching next weekend. Yeah. The 7th and the 8th. And during the weekend services, so that's pretty cool. And then we got Mike Stellis coming back for another week. Glenn Hirschberger, you're doing another week, aren't you?
No.
Or you're done?
I'm done.
You only did one?
Yeah.
How did you get away with only doing one this whole summer?
Well, because I'm in charge, Andy. No, because I was doing next week, but John, we had talked a couple months ago about, hey, we should get John Schrupp up at some point.
Sure.
Or see if he can, and then that was the weekend that
just happened to be the weekend that you had to switch.
Well, actually, initially I was supposed to do a couple weeks ago. Brax had to swap with me. Oh, okay. That's why Brax did back to back, because one of those, I forget which one, was supposed to be mine. Yep. And then we switched with the weekend that John's doing now. Well, that was the weekend John could do. So yeah. Okay. So anyway, but it sounds like I might have to do Sunday morning if things go bad Saturday.
You could fire me.
I'm just joking. No, you'll do fine. Andy always does a great job, and he always thinks like this is going to be so bad.
I always annoyed the staff and Greg all week long. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I think actually that'll be enough. I'm going to save this.
Punt the DNA thing again.
I'm going to save that for another week because we've already gone an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm sure people are sick of listening to us. But
it's too much, man. It's too much.
Too much. Yeah. Too much what?
Well, it's too much of this
of you?
of me. Yeah, it's too much of people are thinking that it's too much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. And
thank you.
If you got any questions or anything, hit us up. And
that's Greg G at G. No,
Greg
no.
G.
Greg
T.
G T.
You even messed it up. Greg GT.
Yeah.
Yep. At nrf.life. I'm Andy S. at nrf.life or office at nrf.life. Any of those will get in touch with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope to see you this weekend.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, folks.